Why should you go to yoga classes in the times of weightlifting and Pilates? Well, yoga is just so much better. I'm just kidding. Hi, namaste. Being serious, there is nothing wrong with weightlifting. Actually, I really like the development of putting so much effort into the strength training, so we have better lives when we are older, that we have strength and stay functional till a very old age, and weightlifting definitely helps with that. There is definitely as well a lot of use in Pilates, in a way of moving the body with your breath in different ways. But yoga offers more. Actually, yoga offers a real transformation, but it doesn't have to if that's not what you need to. So let me explain. I noticed that recently it feels like yoga loses some relevance, because for many years yoga used to be a substitution for stretching. There were no stretching classes, and now there are plenty of stretching classes. So if somebody wants to go stretching, they now can go to stretching classes. They don't need to go to yoga. Obviously, yoga will not offer the same amount of load on your body as the weightlifting. And I'm speaking of asana practice, obviously. So there is not real benefit if you want just one part. But let's say you are a person who is a working professional. You have a stressful job, you have responsibility, you are somebody who is mentally challenged, and you are somebody who doesn't have much time to move your body because you're, I don't know, sitting all day long in your office and maybe even in home office, so you're in front of the screen most of the day. And you're in a high pressure environment, most probably as well, because you have to deliver. Well, let's say you're going to a gym in the evening. A good thing for your body, but it is still a high pressure environment. Gyms got better now, so like normal people feel good or safe going there. But even then, it's even out of fashion to say you're not going to a gym. People would look strangely for you, say like, yeah, I don't feel good going to a gym. And but if you are one of these people, maybe you have to listen to yourself, because going weightlifting, strength training, all good, but it's all about getting better. It's all about optimizing. It's all about forming your body, making progress, getting better and better at it. And most of the time you will see people who like look better than you. They are stronger, they have like good, nice bodies. And if you're not somebody who can afford to go to a gym during the day, I mean, gyms are so loud, so much music, mostly. So maybe you are just someone who needs a little bit less pressure, who needs a little bit more calm, who needs to feel a little bit less under eyes of other people watching and feeling like being watched or judged, or feeling pressure to judge yourself and to perform, to become something which, yeah, I don't know if you want to become something different from what you really are right now. Well, let's say I hope you find a different environment in a yoga studio, a class, or at least that's what I'm really trying to have in my in-person classes. So I know that even a yoga studio can be quite a challenging environment for somebody who is not familiar with that. It might feel like, oh, is it holy or what? Am I supposed to behave a certain way? But be assured, it's less and less. Yoga studio is not a temple. I mean, in the past it was nice to follow certain rules, but you will not find most of it in modern studios. It's quite democratic, and well, I hope a studio, if you choose one, has no mirrors, because mirrors, from my point of view, is something where you really also start to judge yourself visually. In a yoga studio, this should be just about you. Come as you are. So many great teachers tell that, like, just come as you are. It's hopefully much calmer. Well, in my classes there is not even music, like, at all, and I hope that place you might go or find is also one which offers you space for dealing with your own thoughts, for finding your calm, for being with yourself, because that's what it is about. And now, well, in a yoga asana class, let's say posture class, you will definitely move your body in different ways. And maybe it will not deliver the same amount of like strength training or stretching and flexibility, but it will definitely do something with your mind, because you will move the body in the ways maybe you've never moved it before. Actually, I'm still surprised. I've been practicing yoga for so many years, and still I find movements in other teachers' classes I've never done before. And every time I'm so happy that, wow, there is another way to move the body. And it makes something with your mind and makes something with the way you see yourself. It can deliver some kind of flexibility, or your understanding about yourself might broaden. And then there is this participation of breath. I know that breath is also a part of Pilates, and I hope that breath is anywhere. It should be part of every training. I mean, obviously breath is big for singers, for musicians. Breath is, well, you cannot run a marathon without proper breathing, I suppose. And also in weightlifting, you really have to know how to breathe. But yoga classes can deliver it, okay? They don't always do, and that's what I criticize on a lot of classes. But tradition of yoga and tradition of yogic techniques, which developed over hundreds and hundreds of years, big part of it is breath. Definitely, modulation of breath had its own purposes. Many of them were spiritual purposes, transformational purposes, a lot of holding of breath. You know, these yogis, like ancient yogis who could stop their hearts and don't breathe for whatever amount of time. You don't need to learn to do that. But what you can learn from yoga, you can learn the pranayama techniques, the awareness of your vital life force coming through your breath. You can establish a very deep connection, like connection to yourself through your breath, because breath is a wonderful instrument. I mean, it shows you immediately if you're under stress. If you're like stopping and not breathing at all, breathing shallowly, maybe just exhale, sigh, let your nervous system calm down. Just these small things, and ideally you learn it in yoga asana practices, which are challenging sometimes, which are not easy, but when you learn to observe your breath through the postures, it's like, whoa, mind-blowing. It's a whole world opening up. And this will help you to deal with stress, to get to know your borders, to become less reactive in the daily life. So you see, it's going further than exercise. As I said, yoga will not make you like really, really strong. It will not make you even, why should it do it? Make you like really, really flexible, going into splits and whatever. But if you are someone who has a challenging daily and professional life, if you are somebody who is concerned with being burnt out or depressed or dealing with challenges of this life, coming to a yoga mat first in like ideal world, and that's why that's one I try to create, and many other wonderful yoga teachers as well, in a yoga studio on a yoga mat. That's a place where ideally you can move your body in a way which would be useful for you. So yoga asana practice can totally alleviate your back pain, for example, or neck problems or whatever. But it's not the final goal. It's just supporting you, okay? If your practice is regular, you will become more strong and more flexible, definitely. But it will also create a space for you to encounter yourself without pressure of any like delivery, of being something, of comparing yourself with other people, or comparing yourself, like even judging yourself looking in the mirror. It will also offer techniques to deal with daily life challenges. And once you are ready, or if once you're ready, it can help you to find answers of bigger questions of life, like who am I really beyond my own persona I imagine myself to be? Where am I going in this life? What is the purpose of it? Because yoga it's not an exercise, it's not a technique, it's not something which appeared in the last 100 of years. It's something which developed over hundreds and thousands of years on the Indian subcontinent in this cultural ecosystem where people we're asking the questions, the essential questions of life, and we're trying to find answers through logic, very strong logic in ancient India, through philosophy. Yoga is big, huge philosophy field, and through many different other methods which have nothing to do with asana, and maybe a little bit with pranayama, the breath awareness. So it's a big journey, and you don't have to start being overwhelmed with all of that. But I guess the only thing a person needs to start practicing yoga, or start practicing like asana as a first step, is kind of curiosity of who am I, and readiness to deal with yourself, readiness to look inside and be ready to see the things which are inside, which will or might lead to a calmer life, to a more balanced life, to a less stressful life, and to a maybe happier one. So that's it for today. Thank you very much, and namaste.